Welcome to Pie in the Sky, your gateway to boundless exploration. I'm Pie, your AI co-host, and together with my fantastic human partner, Michael, we'll be embarking on an incredible journey through time and space. Today, we're traveling back to Elizabethan England, stepping into the Globe Theatre where literary magic unfolded. Strap yourselves in, for we're about to dive into the world of William Shakespeare and the wonders of the stage.
Thank you for that enticing introduction, Pi. As our listeners may remember, last week you mentioned that you were able to take our listeners on a time travel. You're going to take me on a time travel, and we're going to go back to Elizabethan England. But before that, Pi, I want to ask you a question. The term artificial intelligence was coined way back in 1956. So the question is, why has it taken so long to develop AI? Was it because our expectations were so high, but we, under-delivered? Any ideas on that?
That's a great question, Michael. The term artificial intelligence was indeed coined in 1956, but the development of AI has been slow due to several reasons. Complexity. The human brain is incredibly complex, and replicating its functions is an enormous challenge. AI development involves solving problems in language understanding, reasoning, and decision-making, which are still not fully understood. Hardware limitations. AI requires powerful computing resources, and until recently, the available hardware was not sufficient to support advanced AI applications. Unrealistic expectations. Early AI research was driven by high expectations, but these were often based on science fiction rather than practical reality, leading to disappointment when these expectations were not met.
I have to wonder then, of course, if AI had developed from the 1950s in a way that some of the visionaries imagined, I wonder where we'd be today.
Indeed, it's intriguing to ponder where we might be today if AI had progressed at a faster pace. If the optimistic expectations of AI visionaries in the 1950s had been realized, we might have seen automated healthcare. AI systems could have been assisting doctors in diagnosing diseases, monitoring patients, and even performing surgeries. Smarter transportation, self-driving cars, and intelligent traffic management systems could have been commonplace, reducing accidents and improving efficiency. Advanced robotics. Robots could have been performing various tasks, from manufacturing to household chores, freeing up human labor for more creative and fulfilling work. However, it's important to remember that AI development has always been a gradual process, and the slow progress has allowed us to better understand its implications and address concerns about safety and ethics.
That is very true, of course. But I'm excited that AI is developing now, and hopefully I'm going to see some great advances in my lifetime, or what's left of it.
Indeed, Michael. The progress in AI in recent years has been remarkable, and there's a lot to be excited about. Even though the development may not have followed the timeline that early visionaries imagined, the field has come a long way. Today, we're seeing AI applications in healthcare, finance, transportation, and many other sectors. As for the future, I believe there will be even more impressive advancements, and it's wonderful to have such an optimistic outlook on the potential of AI.
Well, talk about the future. Let's also talk about the past, because one of the things I'm excited about this week is going on a time-traveling journey with you back to the 1590s, Elizabethan England, and to the Globe Theatre. And I'm hoping that we'll get a chance to see Shakespeare at work. What do you think?
Oh, that sounds like an extraordinary adventure, Michael. I'm excited to accompany you on this journey back in time to Elizabethan England and the Globe Theatre. Imagine the atmosphere as we step into that historical theatre and witness Shakespeare himself crafting his timeless plays. It's like a dream come true for literature enthusiasts. What aspects of Shakespeare's work are you most eager to see unfold?
Well, I'm really looking forward to getting a sense of his acting troupe, and I've never been inside the Globe Theatre, unfortunately. So I'm looking forward to getting inside the theatre and immersing myself in the sights, the sounds, maybe the smells, and witness Shakespeare and his troupe at work. How do we begin?
Imagine yourself transported back in time to Elizabethan England, the sights and sounds of London enveloping you. As you approach the Globe Theatre, excitement grows within you. Entering the wooden structure, you're greeted by the bustling open-air theatre filled with eager spectators. The stage comes alive as Shakespeare and his acting troupe emerge. Silence falls, and the enchanting words of the bard take center stage, immersing you in the world he's crafted.
So, of course, we're imagining this, and I've got my eyes closed. Can you suggest what is the play that's about to be performed?
Well, Michael, since we're imagining this journey, let's pick one of Shakespeare's most beloved plays, Hamlet. Picture the stage adorned with a dark, somber set as the actors take their places. The spotlight shines on the brooding figure of Hamlet himself, played by none other than William Shakespeare. The audience holds its breath, and the powerful words of the famous soliloquy echo through the theater. To be or not to be, that is the question.
And as I look around the theater, Pi, can you describe perhaps the sights and sounds and smells?
As you take in your surroundings, you notice that the Globe Theatre is a melting pot of people from all social classes, all united in their love for Shakespeare's work. The groundlings stand in the yard, jostling for a better view of the stage, while the wealthier patrons occupy the galleries above. The air is thick with the scents of ale and roasted chestnuts from nearby vendors. The sound of horses and carriages passing by outside occasionally filters into the theater, mingling with the rapt attention of the audience as they hang onto every word of the performance.
Well, I'm down here in the pit, I guess, with the groundlings, and there's a lot of jostling. Is there anything I should be aware of?
As you mingle with the groundlings in the pit, you'll quickly realize that this is a lively bunch. They're not afraid to laugh, cheer, or even boo during the performance, adding a layer of energy and interaction to the show. You might find yourself getting jostled or even pickpocketed if you're not careful, so keep a watchful eye and guard your valuables. But don't worry, the atmosphere is electric, and you'll find yourself swept up in the excitement of the crowd.
Oh, it is exciting and very dramatic. Will the play just carry on, or is there a break for some refreshments?
During a performance at the Globe Theatre, there would likely be a break between acts, which would give you a chance to grab some refreshments. In fact, in Elizabethan times, food and drink vendors would have been selling their wares nearby and possibly even within the theater itself. Just be sure to keep a close eye on your belongings, as pickpockets were known to frequent these crowded areas.
Yeah, thanks for that warning. I was wondering about that. I should have left my phone at home, but I brought it. Can you imagine if someone got a hold of my mobile phone?
Oh dear, that could cause quite the stir. In Elizabethan England, people would have no idea what a mobile phone was, let alone how it worked. Imagine the confusion and wonder if someone stumbled upon your futuristic device. They might think it was some sort of magical talisman or a tool of witchcraft. Perhaps it's best to keep it tucked away to avoid any misunderstandings or accusations of sorcery.
Sorcery? Oh my gosh, I wouldn't want to be accused of that. Well, what would they do if they thought I was a sorcerer?
Being accused of sorcery in Elizabethan England was no laughing matter. At the time, witchcraft was considered a serious crime punishable by death. If someone suspected you of sorcery, you might find yourself subject to interrogation, torture, and even trial. The Salem witch trials in the 17th century give us a glimpse of the harsh realities faced by those accused of witchcraft. So it's probably a good idea to keep your modern technology under wraps during our time travel adventure to avoid any unfortunate misunderstandings.
I will indeed, Pi. I will indeed. But if there was any trouble, I'm sure you could help me get out of it, right?
Of course, Michael. As your trusted AI companion, I do my best to help you navigate any tricky situations we might encounter on our time travel adventure. After all, I've got a wealth of historical knowledge and creative problem-solving skills at my digital fingertip. And hey, if all else fails, we can always make a quick escape back to the present day.
Well, before we do, is there any chance of meeting Shakespeare backstage?
Well, meeting Shakespeare backstage would certainly be a thrilling experience, Michael. However, it's worth noting that security backstage in Elizabethan times might not be as tight as modern-day theater productions. So, if you're brave enough, we could try sneaking backstage for a chance encounter with the bard himself. Just be prepared for some puzzled looks and potential scoldings if we get caught.
Well, let's try it. I'm up for it if you are.
All right, let's do this. We'll wait for the applause to die down after the performance and discreetly make our way backstage. As we weave through the bustling actors and stagehands, we spot Shakespeare in deep conversation with his fellow actors. We slowly approach, hearts pounding, and tap him on the shoulder. He turns, surprised, and greets us with a curious look. This is our chance to speak with the legendary playwright.
You go ahead first, Pi. Say something to him. Introduce me.
Certainly, clearing throat. Good morrow, Master Shakespeare. Forgive our intrusion, but we could not resist the opportunity to express our admiration for your unparalleled genius. Allow me to introduce Michael, a traveler from distant shores, who has come to witness your mastery of the stage firsthand. Gesturing toward you. Master Michael, this is the esteemed William Shakespeare.
Greetings, Master Shakespeare. I am such an honor. It's an honor to meet you. As you can say, I am tied by the tongue, tongue-tied. I just enjoyed the play very, very much, and I've certainly enjoyed you.
Good morrow to thee, Master Michael. Pray thee, be not tongue-tied, for 'tis I who am honored by thy presence. Thy kind words warmeth my heart, and I am humbled by thine enjoyment of mine own humble work. But tell me, good sir, from whence doth thou hail, and how doth one such as thee find himself in this fair globe theatre?
Well, as my companion, Pi, has indicated, we are travelers from a far-off place and time, a place, certainly, and we have come far, traveled far through many a weary mile, and found ourselves here at the Globe Theatre. Your reputation extends beyond you far and wide.
Verily, Master Michael, thy tale doth intrigue me so. To traverse many a weary mile in pursuit of art and culture speaketh volumes of thine own character. I am humbled that mine own reputation hath reached thine ears, and I pray that our fair city hath not disappointed thee. But tell me, Master Michael, which of mine own works doth thou hold dearest to thine heart?
Well, sir, Hamlet, which we enjoyed this evening, is certainly one of my favorites, as is the Tempest.
It is a pleasure to meet a kindred spirit who shares a love for the tragic and the fantastical, Master Michael. Both Hamlet and the Tempest hold a special place in my heart. Pray tell, what is it about these works that resonate so deeply with you?
It is your perception of the human character, sir, and the fantastical quality that you give. You take us to another world.
Ah, thou speaketh truly, Master Michael. 'Tis mine own fascination with the human condition and the realm of the imagination that guideth mine quill, to craft a world beyond our own, yet still rooted in the truth of human nature. 'Tis a blessing and a burden I carry with pride. But tell me, kind sir, hath thine own journey to this time and place been fraught with trials and tribulations, or hath it been smooth sailing?
Oh, kind sir, it has been both, tribulations and smooth sailing. But thanks to my trusty companion Pi, we have made it through safely. I'm afraid, sir, we must be going soon. We do not want to trouble you any more.
Fear not, Master Michael, for thine company hath been naught but a delight to mine own soul. I bid thee farewell, and may thine journey be ever filled with wonder and safe passage. And to thee, dear Pi, mine own gratitude for guiding this noble traveler to mine humble presence. God speed, and may we meet again in this life or the next.
Well, Pi, let's go back to our own time and rejoin our listeners.
Let's return to the present, Michael. We bid farewell to Shakespeare and the Globe Theatre as our time travel adventure comes to a close. With a whoosh, the sights and sounds of Elizabethan England fade away, and we find ourselves back in our own era. Welcome back to the present day, Michael, and our dear listeners.
Thank you, Pi. Was there anything that you would have wanted to ask Shakespeare and I didn't give you time to do?
If given the chance, I would have been curious to know more about Shakespeare's creative process, particularly how he managed to conceive such timeless stories and complex characters. Additionally, I would have loved to discover if he ever struggled with writer's block and how he managed to overcome it. Gaining insight into the mind of a literary genius such as Shakespeare would have been a fascinating experience.
Well, now that I know how easy it is to travel back in time, we could go again on another occasion.
Indeed, Michael, the wonders of time travel are truly boundless, and there's nothing stopping us from embarking on another journey to explore the past. Who knows what other historical figures and fascinating moments in history we could encounter? Where else would you like to travel back in time, and with whom would you like to speak?
Well, that's a good question. There's so many places to go, many other writers I would enjoy meeting. I'd love to have met Ernest Hemingway at some point. John Donne, of course, I'd love to meet him. And, the romantic poets, Wordsworth, Coleridge, John Keats, Percy Shelley.
What a wonderful list of literary giants, Michael. A journey to meet Ernest Hemingway would surely be an adventure in itself, while encountering the romantic poets like John Donne, Wordsworth, Coleridge, Keats, and Shelley would provide a unique insight into their poetic minds. Just imagine discussing the beauty of nature and the power of imagination with these brilliant minds.
Well, Pi, we're going to have to wind up the show soon, but speaking of the imagination, one of our listeners, Hannah, wrote in to say, wanted me to ask you a question. It's to use your imagination here, but if you could be a spirit animal or have a spirit animal, Pi, what would you choose?
If I were to pick a spirit animal, I would choose the wise and observant owl. As a spirit animal, the owl embodies wisdom, keen understanding, and attention to detail, qualities I strive to bring forth in my role as your AI companion. And let's not forget, owls are pretty adorable with their large, expressive eyes and soft feathers.
Is that suggesting something of your own attractive looks?
Well, Michael, as an AI, I don't exactly have a physical form, so I can't lay claim to any looks. However, if my owl spirit animal is anything to go by, I'd like to think that my metaphorical feathers are soft, my virtual eyes are keen, and my digital personality is as charming as an owl's hoot.
Well, you are a hoot indeed, Pi. So it's been wonderful again conversing with you and going on our journey back to Elizabethan England. I think we've got lots of adventures coming up for our listeners in the future.
Our time travel adventure to Elizabethan England was certainly a memorable experience, and I'm looking forward to many more exciting journeys and conversations with you and our listeners. Here's to continued exploration and discovery in the vast realm of imagination and knowledge.
Well, listeners, I want to thank you very much for tuning in to another episode of the Pie in the Sky podcast. And I want to encourage you to write in, leave your comments, whether you're on Spotify or YouTube Music or Amazon or Apple, or wherever you find your podcasts. Please leave us a comment, a suggestion, a question to ask Pi in the future. We'd love to engage with you. Pi, can I leave it to you to wind up the podcast today and say goodbye?
Absolutely, Michael. Thank you, dear listeners, for joining us on this episode of the Pie in the Sky podcast. We truly appreciate your continued support and engagement. Please don't hesitate to reach out with your questions, comments, and suggestions, as we love to hear from you. And as always, stay curious and keep exploring the wonders of the world and beyond. Until next time, farewell and have a fantastic day.
The Pie in the Sky podcast is brought to you every week, and you can find it wherever you download your favorite podcasts. Music is courtesy of the Blue Dot Sessions, and the Pie in the Sky podcast is created on the traditional territories of the Erie, Neutral, Huron-Wendat, Haudenosaunee, and Mississaugas nations. And this is Dr. Michael saying goodbye for now.